Morning friends, it's Vicky. I'm over at the terrace garden. Just want to get another update on what's in bloom at this time. Our 4 o'clocks are starting to open their first blooms. It's actually about 10:30. I tried to get over here earlier, but I had multiple stops I had to make. And unfortunately, I knew I was going to be here a little bit too late, but that's the first of them that I've seen so far. These over here are actually quite a bit taller, but I don't see any. Oh, there's a couple. Here's a white and a yellow. So anyway, from now on, whenever I come over here, we should be able to try to catch those 4 o'clocks if I'm here early enough in the morning. What else is going on? This is what our vinca vine, potato vine is looking like. See how long those are already. The cat's meow catmint coming back. I was telling you guys how my nasturtiums that I planted over here throughout this bed, I planted some up here and some in here, and I just think there hasn't been enough water for those to do very well. So over here we've got the hardy hibiscus. No blooms yet on this one. This is that purple prince annual that I really like. Oh look, there's a mushroom. The oregano, do you remember how in years past I loved the oregano and then I transplanted it? I had to cut it way back and transplant it into that back corner because I want eventually for it to come kind of spill out and around. Like you'll see it from behind and it should kind of come forward on either side of that hibiscus. But they're wonderful for pollinators. They get like these tiny tiny white flowers, and it looks really good, I think, next to that hibiscus foliage, which is, much bigger and darker. So I really like the contrast, and I just thought that would look really good in that back corner. But point is, it's not going to happen this year. Those plants just need to settle in, and then next year we'll see that effect that I was going for. This is the mound artemisia, which I think is looking really good. There's a couple little spots in there that look like maybe they're dying out or something. This is the yarrow. It's about time for a cutback on the yarrow. I really hate doing it because it just takes away the color, but then again, we have other things around it that are starting to kind of take over, like the black-eyed Susans. This salvia I had already cut back earlier, like maybe a few weeks ago, and it's already in bloom again, so that helps. That catmint back there is Walker's Low. I still have not cut that back this season yet, and I do still see some flowers on it, but I do think it's also time for cutback on that. So again, I'll probably cut back this yarrow here and that Walker's Low. And we still don't have blooms on this not shrub, but that one right there. Right to the right of the Walker's Low is a Veronicastrum, which gets like tall white blooms on it. The Russian sage, I can see some of them opening just on the right side here. Do you see those? But a lot of them still haven't opened yet. So that will be looking really good here soon. At the cactus and sedum area, looking pretty. The pink salvias, again, this is a pink yarrow, but it also needs to get cut back. And purple pincushion flowers, looking great as always. The what are these? Veronica? Yeah, my purple Veronica here. Last time I was here, so about a week ago maybe, I cut off all of the brown ones that didn't have any purple flowers on them. And then I left a bunch more because I just felt like instead of sharing back the entire thing, I would just kind of cut them back as they go. And I think that was the right choice on this one. But I do see some more that are ready to be cut back. We have some of our purple, sorry, not purple, some of our orange daylilies, the wild ones that I told you I'm going to be getting rid of. Actually, now I'm confused because these are obviously not, oh my God, that bee landed right on me. These are obviously not orange. And I don't remember planting these purple ones in here. And I'm wondering now if these orange ones are different than these taller ones. These taller ones are that invasive type, I'm fairly sure. But now I'm wondering if I have more than one kind in here. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Let's look at the pollinators. I actually have some bees out. I'm sure you guys saw that bee land right in my hand. I wish I would have not freaked out because I could have kept him on there longer, but it just startled me for a second. But there he is. That is the very bee that landed and said hello. And they are going to town. Another one over here. So lots of pollinators out this morning. Back here in the Artemisia, just behind the Artemisia, I see some of my yellow coreopsis. I don't know if you can see them. I'll have to get up there to get a better view. Yeah, I'll go up there to get a better view because we have lots of coneflowers in bloom up there looking beautiful. Oh, and this hibiscus, we have our first bloom. Remember me telling you this one is like a wine red color, almost like a pinky red. I don't know how to explain it. And it looks more red on camera than it does in person. But lots of buds to open and our first bloom on that. Oh, and my orange peach gallardo, those are blooming. What else? The sage here. I like the way that this looks next to the purple prince as that's growing out. And I don't remember the name of this sedum, but I really like this particular one. I wonder if this is the dragon's blood sedum. And then this is the yarrow that I just planted this spring, maybe a month and a half ago. And it said on the tag that it was like, I forget the name of it, but it was supposed to be a dark kind of maroon color. And I thought it would go really well with this flower. And then it opened and it looked more pink. When I look at this, like I do see some dark, but then I also see like a light pink. Anyway, it's fine. It goes with this flower, which is what I was intending it to do. All right, I guess it's time to move up to the next level. You guys can see my lamb's ear border. It's looking best on this little middle section here and that section up there. And then I'm going to have to add some down here, but that's okay. Lots of roses are in bloom up there. I don't see any dahlia blooms yet, but that is the next thing that will be coming. I've got lots of buds. Here's some dahlia buds right here. You can see those. So hopefully, I don't remember what I planted. I want to say those might be, what's that one that everybody likes? Cafe au lait. That might be cafe au lait, but I can't really remember. I've got a bunch of them planted up against that back wall, and I think some of those are like pink and purple. I guess we'll just be surprised. And then no blooms yet on the goldenrod, but that's what this tall kind of, not really a bush, but clump right there. And there's a smaller one just to the side. That's what that is, this goldenrod. And now that I'm going to be able to start planting at my work garden, which actually is going to start happening today, I came over here to do a quick video of this terrace, and then I'm going to go and start digging up hydrangeas and other things that I'm transferring to my work garden. But anyway, now that I'm going to start being able to transfer stuff to my work garden, I'm going to transfer some of that goldenrod because I don't need that much of it in this terrace, and I have a lot of space to fill at the work garden. So I figured I might as well take a little bit of that out and put it over there, as well as just a bunch of other things. I've got plenty of stuff I can take. Some of the obedient plant from in my upper garden is going to go as well. But before I get to any of that, let me just wrap up the rest of this little tour. Sorry, I'm climbing over stuff here. All right. This plant here, it's not quite as blue as I was expecting it to be yet, but this is that, I think it's Eryngium. And I believe that it will continue to get more and more blue. But this is supposed to be like a pollinator favorite. And it's my first time, growing it. So we'll see. So far, not super impressed, but hopefully it gets more colorful than that. All right, hang on just a moment. I'm going to make my way over to the coneflowers. All right, well, we have one little coneflower here, but most of them are over this way. Just a reminder, actually, let me try to get out of the way of my shadow. Hang on. Okay, so I had this little arc. Where's my... Okay, right here I have this little arc of pink Gara. And then in front of that limey or green looking plant is the mums, the little orange mums. I like the way that pink and orange look together. For instance, like on this coneflower, how it's pink and has the orange cone in the center. I think those go really well together. And so the Gara is kind of the same color pink as like those coneflowers, and then the little orange mums, I thought those would go well there. Here is the rest of my coneflower patch, and starting to fill in pretty nicely. I have a lot of dahlias right back there behind those coneflowers. Then I just have some iris here that are already done, obviously. This is the purple salvia, kind of like a little river that I've got going here. That has already been cut back once, so it's on its second bloom this year. Lots of pollinators on that. And this beautiful coneflower. I think this is my oldest one that's directly in front of me here. And then there's like a shorter one in the back there. More dahlias over there. Lady Shallot rose, looking beautiful. That's my only really good looking rose right now. And that's actually the best I've seen it look yet. And I haven't really done much for it, so all the credit goes to her. And then that's it. Over here, I just have some of that Coreopsis starting to open up. And again, I have some orange Asiatic lilies over here in the back. These tall verbascums, I'm going to be cutting these down. They are done. All of their yellow blooms are gone. This one only has a couple left, so I'll go ahead and get rid of those too. And then that last one right there. And we're done with those for the year. I can barely see that my elderberry is in bloom up there. Let me see if my other one is. I don't see any blooms on my black lace elderberry, but I'll go up and look at it here in a sec. So I think that's about it. I'm going to end here. I've got lots of work to get done today, and maybe I'll do a little bit of video at my work garden if there's time. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye now. Okay guys, well I am back. It's a couple hours later. I ended up having to go back home to the rental house because the internet people who weren't supposed to show up until like 2 to 5 ended up showing up at like 10:30, and Chase was at a dentist appointment and I was over here, So I got a call from the kids and they're like, there's an internet guy here. So I had to rush back over there to basically take care of that. So anyway, I'm back over here at the house again, and I'm going to dig up as many of these shrubs as I feel up to. So again, the ones I have to move are this bobo, this ruby, this lace cap, this one. Oh my gosh, good thing I'm digging this up because it looks like it's dying. Might already be too late for it. I think this is another ruby right here. Probably just not getting enough water. That is, I believe, a quick fire invincible spirit. My daughter's peach tree. Not sure what I'm doing with that. Maybe I'll take that to my work, but it's got to get moved out of here at least. Another hydrangea that's on its way out because of lack of water. So good thing I'm getting that moved. And this one is, I think this might be another invincible spirit, because if I remember correctly, I had two of them planted side by side and I didn't want to side by side. Then we have the butterfly magnolia tree right here. This has to get moved. I'm thinking about just donating this to my work too, because if I don't, I would move it to the rental house, plant it over there, and then in about 4 months I'd have to move it again and then move it back to my house and plant it over there. Over here, I'm sorry. I could just replace it over here is what I'm getting at. This one right here is my quick fire, I believe, one of them. I think I had multiple of the same type, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And then right here, another invincible spirit too. Another panicle of some sort, probably another quick fire or a little quick fire or something like that. And then another invincible lace. So that's a lot of shrubs I need to get moved. We'll see how much I can get done. And then I'll probably pick up this video over at the work site. All right, talk to you soon.